What's up, everybody? So Nuie here. Sorry I've been away for a little while. Lots been going on in life, so I've just been taking care of that and haven't had time to really upload a lot of content. But I do plan on making up for this soon. I do have like things in mind of what I want to do and what I want to get out. So just bear with me on that. As soon as I have the time, I definitely will. So sorry to everybody, but I will definitely be trying to do that uh, as efficiently as I can, is while still being able to manage everything that I'm going on in my life. But that's not really the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to talk about the upcoming flashback event and what my plans are with that event. So if you guys don't know, well, not this month yet, in May there will be a flashback event starting at the beginning of May. It'll be May the 5th, 9 a.m. New Zealand time, I guess this is. So for me, I guess that is May the 4th, which will be Friday. It's about 5 p.m. for me, so I'll be doing that event. I'm gonna do something different than I usually do, which I'm going to be running in the SSF League. I've never done SSF before. I've never done anything as far as SSF. I usually always go into a currency league because I like trading, and then I would be able to get all the items I want. So this time's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit more challenging for me as a player because I'll have to really focus on my build without any uniques or anything like that, without any unique aids. I will probably be able to get some uniques, and I have highlighted some of the uniques in the build I plan on using. That would be nice if I could find them. However, if I don't find them, the rest of the build as alone is a standalone build without the use of uniques. But yeah, so I've been since I've been kind of on and off with the whole Bestiary League. It was kind of fun to play, but at the same time I got a little bit bored of it, so I haven't really been too invested in it lately. But towards the end of that, I was playing a lot of a Wander build. So I really started to enjoy the Wander playstyle. I know it can be a little rippy, but I've actually been having a lot of fun with it, and I found out, from what I've tested, if I level as a bow character and then switch over to Wander once I get to like higher levels and stuff, it's actually not too big of a deal. I actually don't feel very bad. It's pretty easy to kill bosses while as a bow character, and considering you're still using projectile damage and a lot of stuff like that, it's actually really easy to run as a bow character and then switch over to a Wander without any real issues. So anyways, hopping into it, this will be my SSF build for the flashback May event. Again, is a Wander. It'll be a Ranger Deadeye. I was previously playing a Scion Wander, but I definitely feel like as far as racing purposes, this will be more efficient. So I'm gonna start out with the Ascendancy. I'm gonna be going Deadeye, definitely. I'm gonna be using Powerful Precision, Tailwind, or Gathering Winds, Far Shot, and Endless Munitions. The reasons for this is it's pretty standard what I'm doing, but I want to get the increased additional projectile as well as the increased area effect from Endless Munitions. I'm looking for Far Shot as well as the increased projectile speed from Far Shot. I'm also grabbing the additional Pierce as well as a lot of crit. So this, especially for this build, is the build I'm going to be running. Crit is going to be really nice for me. It's going to be really good for as far as my damage goes. So I'm definitely going to be using the taking advantage of the crit, and then Gathering Winds just gives me a lot of movement speed for running around. I may or may not use Flame Dash. It depends. I typically don't, and because I plan on leveling with a bow character anyways, I'll probably use Mirage Archers, so it really wouldn't matter for the early game, like Act 2 and stuff where you have to jump over a lot. It really won't matter for that because I'll have Mirage Arrow for that, so it won't be that big of a deal. But that's what my Ascendancy class is looking like. As my Bandit, I plan on going Alira. I need the mana regen as well as the crit, and some extra resistances is never bad. But yeah, as far as the tree goes, this is what my full planned out tree looks like. It scales pretty far, it goes pretty far, but starting through, it goes to life nodes. I didn't take the original projectile damage nodes because I feel like this event's going to be very, very rippy, so I don't want to. I definitely kind of focused more into life than I usually would in some of my Wanderers builds. Like some of my wander builds only run about 150% life because I'm more focused on evasion. And since I took arrow dancing as well as acrobatics and fake acrobatics, I usually would stack huge amounts of evasion and never get hit. So I wouldn't focus as much onto into my life as I am on this, but I am going to be starting in the life tree. I'll head down through finesse. I will grab primal spirit as well as heart of the oak, just for life, and then stun avoidance, and also for mana regen. Mana regen is going to be huge for me because I really want to be able to get to the point where I don't need to leech. I couldn't really afford to invest into heavy leech. Like I would usually like to be able to grab vitality and void and stuff, but I really couldn't find a way to efficiently invest into it, so I decided not to and just said fuck it, and I would just grab some extra life leech and stuff and kind of rely on killing things quickly enough so that it won't really matter. But yeah, I will be heading through Winter Spirit as well as Flash Breeze for the cold damage and as well as the increased projectile speed. I'm going to be grabbing Thick Skin, extra avoidance to elemental elements, as well as a lot of life. I'm going to be grabbing Graceful Assault so that I have Onslaught. I do plan on grabbing Fangs of the Frost for cold damage pen, as well as grabbing Point Blank. Since I will have Far Shot from my Ascendancy tree, grabbing Point Blank doesn't do anything wrong to me. As I previously stated, I'll be grabbing Arrow Dancing. I will be grabbing Primeval Force. I don't really want to take huge amounts of damage from reflected damage. I haven't really run into a huge amount of reflect mobs, and I really probably won't attempt to run any reflect maps, anything like that. So it really shouldn't be an issue, but I took it just in case, and it's also here, so it's just kind of efficient. The only thing I would have probably replaced it with is Arcing Blows. That's the only thing I could really come to mind that would really be useful to replace that with, but even that is still less damage overall than this is giving, so I made sure to grab that. And then I'm grabbing Herbalism for the increased life. I'm grabbing an extra Frenzy Charge from Fervor. I will be grabbing Survivalist for the extra elemental resistances, as well as the plus to maximum cold res. As I previously said, I'll be grabbing Acrobatics, and as well as Phase Acrobatics. And then I'll be grabbing Forces of Nature for the extra pen, as well as the extra elemental damage. I'm grabbing the entire evasion node here. This is just extra life as well as physical damage, which is always nice. And it's also evasion. I'm coming through here, grabbing Fangs of the Viper, I'm grabbing Will of Blades, and I'm grabbing Blood Siphon and Coordination. This is all just extra damage for my conversion as well as extra life. So it's very helpful, and it also gives me a bunch of attack speed and movement speed, so it feels good. I'm coming through and grabbing this entire ring here, including Sniper as well as Notification. This gives me plenty of elemental resistances, extra evasion, some extra life, as well as more projectile damage, which is really good for conversion. I'm grabbing the extra Frenzy Charge from Frenetic, as well as some Blood Drinker. So this would give me a little bit of leech, not a huge amount, but enough, I feel like, to sustain. I'm grabbing extra Power Charge from Infused. I'm grabbing Cold Heart Calculation. I'm grabbing Written in Blood. This is just extra life. I'm going to head through and grab Wand Slinger for the extra damage with wands. I'm not going to grab Elder Power. It really just doesn't pay off for me because I'm going to be mostly running elemental damage. It doesn't pay off for that. This is also the point where I said, like, if I had more skill points, I would go over to this. This would definitely be way more worth it than getting Elder Power, since a lot of my damage is converted. This would have been a huge amount, much larger boost than this would have been, but I'm not going to grab that instead. I will be grabbing Crow Preparation and Instability. Mainly for this also gives me a ton of life as well as, or a ton of percent life as well as some extra element resistances, and this is an extra power charge, which is comes into play for Fusillade because I get 6% increased wand damage per power charge. So that's really nice bonus overall. And then I'm also taking the crit nodes up here as well as 30% of my wand's physical damage being converted or getting added as extra lightning damage. And then I'm going up this side to grab as many increases to damage with wands. So that's how the full tree plays out, and this is everything involved with it. I will leave the paste bend to this below, and I'll also go to my other website for builds for those of you who don't use Path of Building, which I definitely recommend you do. For those of you who don't use Path of Building, I will go over to that and then attach that link as well, so you guys will be able to see that build for there. But heading into the skills, I do plan on using Herald of Ice with Curse on Hit as well as Assassin's Mark. This is how I can generate my this is how I plan on generating my power charges, mostly through crit and stuff like that. If there was a way to grab dual curses, projectile damage or projectile weakness is actually a significantly higher amount of damage. So if I dropped Assassin's Mark and ran projectile damage, my damage would increase, but I wouldn't be able to generate power charges. And also, Assassin's Mark gives me mana regen. It gives me life and mana for killing cursed targets. So it's nice. It's a nice kind of sustained method when I don't have as much leech. So I prefer to run that. I will be running Wrath as my other buff, and then for my Kinetic Blast setup, as my final 6 link, I'll plan on doing Kinetic Blast, added cold damage, elemental damage with attacks, GMP, elemental focus, and Ice Bite. So that'll be my total, that'll be my 6th link on my body armor. I plan on running Blood Rage, just for the increased attack speed, as well as this will give me my Frenzy charges. I plan on running Cast 1 Damage Taken and Immortal Call. This is just extra safety, a decoy totem for boss killing, because from my experience with wanders, having a decoy totem is pretty much invaluable because it can be, you can kind of have low damage early, and it can be kind of a pain to deal with bosses sometimes. So having a decoy totem is always nice. I plan on running a Ice Golem for extra crit, and I plan on getting minion life on it. I don't really plan on getting too much else invested into that, but minion life is always nice. And then lastly, I'll have Barrage, added cold damage, elemental damage attacks, GMP. This is just a basic single target setup. It might not be necessary if I am able to get a 6 link or a 5 link, even a 5 link with my Kinetic Blast. I can probably kill things pretty simply with this, but it's just an easy, quick 4 link that I can have for some easy boss killing stuff. Heading into my items, again, I'm just going to be using, this is going to be SSF based, so this is just basic stuff, physical wand, evasion, and then evasion for everything else. I did grab steel ring as well as, I did grab 2 steel rings, because I feel like steel rings will give me a lot of physical damage. You can run whatever you want for rings, crit rings, whatever. It doesn't really matter. The reason I don't have cap reses in this build is because I am not using any uniques, so I didn't need to worry about having cap reses because I can grab whatever reses I want off of whatever gear I get. So it's not going to be a big deal, and then I can do a lot of crafting and put on whatever I need and whatever I'm missing. So I didn't really get too paranoid about not having cap reses because I don't have that many uniques in the build, or any uniques for that matter. As far as the SSF version of the build, I won't have any uniques, so I can get whatever I need. However, for those of you who want to use this build for like a league starter, because I would feel pretty comfortable running this as a league starter friendly anything. I did include the uniques I feel would be the best for this build, to best augment it and make it the strongest. So we'll have a Hire's Ire. This gives me flat cold damage to my attacks, as well as extra dodge chance and extra dodge spell damage. I did run a Marlene's Fallacy. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't know if I butchered that, whatever. This gives me crit. It gives me a huge amount of crit multiplier, a lot of some extra evasion. It did give me slightly less critical chance, but that's not a big deal because you're running Assassin's Mark, you're running because you're running Assassin's Mark, you're running power charges, it really won't be a big deal to lose like 40% crit chance. That's not a big deal at all. And then 225% crit multiplier is huge, so it'd be really nice. Plus, your critical strikes will have Coaling Strike, so that's always a plus. On top of that, I grabbed Zeri's Promise. This gives me just converts some of my physical damage and elemental damage over to chaos damage. It also gives me some extra leech, so that's nice. I'm running I would grab an overflowing chalice. This just gives me increased recovery to my other flasks, which is great because that means I can run my Zeris more often. I can run my other flasks more often. So if I'm running like I could run like a silver flask or something like that. Those would always be nice, and I'll just get extra flash charges for those really quickly while my overflowing chalice is running. I also grabbed a Malagara's Virtuosity. I don't know. Once again, I apologize for anything I butcher. So that just gives me increased attack speed as well as 50% global crit chance, which will balance out the 40% you're going to lose anyways. So, and then it also gives me global crit multiplier as well as some extra increased evasion rating. So it's really nice thing. It's a really nice extra unique on top of everything. And then the last thing I would get is a Devoto's Devotion. This does reduce your physical damage a little bit, but it's not too big of a deal. It gives you increased attack speed as well as some extra chaos resistance, as well as getting some nice increased movement speed, so to help out with everything. So this is everything, all the uniques I would use for this build if I was going to expand it, or if, I actually get them to drop for me in SSF, which, crossing my fingers I do. This was everything I would use. In total, all my uniques on top of this build would only cost like 5-6 chaos. So it's really cheap, really cheap build, really nice league starter. So this is what I came up with, and this is what I plan on using. Damage actually turned out pretty well. You get 5 power charges, 5 frenzy charges, onslaught, tailwind. So, it's pretty comfortable. Here's all the damage numbers for that. You guys can run through that and look through that. I don't mind. I'll just leave it up for here. But yeah, this is what I plan on doing for Flashback event, and what I want to do going forward. So, it should be fun. I hope you guys join in. I hope everybody has a lot of fun with the competition. The Flashback event should be really enjoyable. It's a lot of really old league stuff with a lot of league modifiers that'll really come through, and could be pretty rippy. So I expect to see quite a few rips. I do plan on watching a couple other streamers and seeing how they do, and honestly, I'm hoping for rips, to be honest. I'm really hoping for rips. As far as being competitive, if a lot of people are in SFF, then, I'll just kind of enjoy my time and just kind of take it slow and just enjoy the race, enjoy the mods. However, if I'm actually doing really well and I'm really ahead of everybody, or I'm, keeping up with everybody, I'll be as competitive as I can. I'll try my very best, and I'll try to see as far as I can do. I definitely plan on hitting minimum level 75. That's the minimum. If I can hit a level 100 in this event, that'll be great. So, hope to see you guys there. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you all later. Nuie out.